And as we talk to our next guest, a 22-year-old CEO, this is really your chance to just get to ask her, how did you do it? Like, how does this happen? And her name is Ivy Patrick. Karibu sana to the show. You're the CEO of Cody Real Estate Limited.
Yeah.
All right, guys, SMS is 22999. And so, Ivy, it's not every day that you meet a young CEO as yourself. First of all, I think there's this idea that when a young person, a lady perhaps, is starting a business, it's either going to be in fashion or in cosmetics.
True.
You're doing real estate.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Where did that interest come from?
Actually, I didn't have the interest at first because I'm in economics and I'm studying economics and statistics. So I was in that. I like math and all that. But I went for internship at Cody, which is a real estate firm that mainly deals with empowering the youth and the middle income earners in Kenya to earn property at ease. So the idea just, it made me think, like, how can you do this considering how the house levies are in Kenya right now and the real estate market is generally in the world, So it really impressed me, and I wanted to know more. I'm a very inquisitive person, so I wanted to know more. And slowly but surely, just being able to, talk to the clients and hearing what their problems are and how they'd want help that to me was amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said that you started off there as an intern.
Yes.
Then you became a CEO.
Yes.
But this is all within like a year.
1 year, yeah.
How does that happen?
Well, first we have to check that it's an SME, yeah. So it's a small company. So this is very possible. It happens in most companies.
Sure.
But I think also the fact that I always pushed myself impressed the directors and the CEO at that time, and the main thing was the fact that I was able to do a research paper, and for like a month. So afterwards, I presented it to our CEO and the board of directors, and they went through it, and it was factual. And I didn't use any, I just used the knowledge that I could get and analyze it myself. Yeah. So when that happened, they're like, "Wow," they were impressed, and I was like, "Okay." I didn't know I could do it either, but yeah. So after that, I was promoted to operations manager after she left, so I was given that position, and I did the best I could in that position because even I was learning. I learned in the job, and afterwards I was presented with the position of the CEO.
Wow.
And I couldn't say no. How could you say no to that?
Yeah. But how has it been? I mean, because you're saying you were learning on the go. Were you ever at one point nervous? I mean, now you're responsible for the company, for its profitability, its liabilities. You're sort of the one leading those decisions. Talk to us about that from the angle of, for those who are really trying to get into a space, and sometimes we sort of limit ourselves and say, well, I've never actually done that before, so I'm not even going to try. What was that like for you?
Nervous, every day, because every day you get a new challenge, especially when you don't have much experience in that market. It's a new challenge. You just have to be completely confident in yourself to know that the far that you've gotten, it's because you can, and that the far that you're gonna go, it's because you can. And if you're not able to, or if you fail at some point, it's not because you're weak it's because you're learning. So just taking every failure and learning from it is the most important part of the job. Sure. Yeah.
I also like that you said that when you were doing this internship, like, you were pushing it, like you were working it.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really struggle with our society nowadays is sometimes I feel like we're very do the bare minimum, like provided I've just ticked the box of what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Not too many of us actually go the extra mile and do more than what is expected. But it sounds like for you to have gotten to be noticed that way, you had to do it. You had to pursue excellence. How important is that to you, and what would you say to the young people that are watching and inspired by your story?
I think you have to, for every intent that you have, it has to have a belief behind it, so that you can have a purpose to what you're doing, not just doing it for a paycheck or, you know, just to move forward to finish internship and go ahead and finish school. You have to have a belief to every intent that you have. That way, the foundation of what you're doing is strong enough and nothing can crumble it. That's how you remain strong in whatever that you're doing. Yeah.
So in terms of the people that you work with, are most of them your age mates or around the same age? Are they slightly younger? Because I mean, you're only 22, so I'm like, there's only so far we can go.
Yeah.
But
Well,
what's sort of the age structure of the organization and how big is it?
we have right now 15 employees, and there's old guys, there's young guys, mostly young. Yeah, but yeah.
How do the older ones respond to a young woman CEO sort of being the one in charge of them, both men and women? Have you had any struggles with that?
At first, yes. At first, yeah, because it was confusing for everyone, like why, you know, she's too young. Like they knew I could, but it was still like, she's too young. And even I was like, I'm too young, you know. But eventually, because of the respect that I keep with everyone in the office, and also just listening to everyone and understanding that we're running a business here and we're all a team, it has to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your typical day like? Because you're still in school, right? You're studying
economics and statistics.
Shout out your school. Where you at?
UN. University of Nairobi.
Okay. So you're studying economics and statistics. I also did economics as well.
Nice.
So hey, economics girls. But then you're also a CEO. I mean, how are you juggling those roles? Is your role as a CEO, are you doing it almost part-time because of school? Is it like a full-time engagement? What's your typical day like?
Well, my day starts at around 6, 7 a.m. in the morning. I go to work till around 5 p.m. and then I go for evening classes.
Oh, you're doing evening classes?
Yes, till like 9 and then I go home.
How far are you in your studies?
I'm in 4th year, my last year.
Has it been difficult juggling?
Yes. It's a struggle, but we all have the same, you know, amount of hours in the day. There are people taking 6 jobs somewhere, so why can't I just do 2 things? Were
you always doing evening classes, or did you have to sort of, I'm curious about, if anything, if there are any sort of shifts or changes you had to make when you decided to take up the role of a CEO?
Yes, I moved to evening classes.
You did move to evening classes?
Yes.
Okay. So, you know, at the same time, you're a young 20-something-year-old. How do you then, because part of, I guess, being in your 20s is, you know, the social life and, you know, just hanging out with your friends and sort of exploring other things. How are you able to, are you able to squeeze in some of that as well? Yeah,
my free time is my free time. So if I'm like on the weekends, maybe on Sunday, it's just family and that's it, no work.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How did your parents or your family respond to becoming a CEO? Were they nervous about it, especially as far as school was concerned?
Yeah, definitely. My mom was scared. But eventually, like, I had to convince her as well. Like, she gave me like 2 weeks. She's like, if you're able to do it in 2 weeks and you're able to go to school, then that's good. And so far, it's been great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what are maybe you can, I don't know if you want to share like 2 or 3 personal, like, lessons, I guess, that you've learned in this journey, things that would perhaps encourage those who are watching, because I'm sure many of them one day would also love to be CEOs or set up their own businesses. What are sort of 3 things that you have experienced that maybe you would share or highlight, or even 1 or 2?
Well, when it comes to business, you have to know that success is not the amount of zeros in your paycheck, but the impact that you have on people. What people will say when you leave. Were you able to change anything? Were you just working for money? You know, that's what I work on. And then also treat every day as if it's your first day at work. Don't ever lose that zeal and urge to continue doing what you're doing. And if you do, then you're not in the right space of work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, let me read some what we've seen here on Facebook. Joe Cartel, you say you're tuned in and you're loving the show. Naishi, she's locked in, and she says she's very inspired by this conversation this morning. Thank you again to all of you guys. Just some questions from SMS. Here's a question. What does one need to have to be a good CEO?
Purpose. Yeah. Your business has to have a purpose. Are you solving a problem? You know, you just need to have a purpose. If you don't have a purpose, then there's no business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone else says, wow, what so young CEO, she has already achieved her goal. Congrats to her.
Thank you.
Someone else says, I'm not employed, but I want to start a business and manage it myself without gaining losses. How has it been? I mean, have you had challenging moments as a CEO where maybe stuff in the company hasn't worked out well, and then you feel like the eyes on you, like,
Definitely.
Share one experience with us.
Revenue. Yeah, sometimes you never really know, it fluctuates. So at some point it was really bad, and I was a CEO, but so everyone was just looking at me like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
And at that point I was actually really stressed. I'm like, okay, this is I'm actually that's that point where people tell you it's gonna be hard, you know. But I have a mentor, who happens to be the director as well. So I'm able to consult the directors and all those guys. And they also understand the fact that I'm young and I'm learning, so they help me out a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how is it, I mean, because as much as you're doing economics, you're running a business, which a lot of people, I mean, there's also business skills like that you gain from, say, business administration or an MBA.
Yeah.
How were you able to sort of pick up those skills like so quickly, or have you been able to pick up those skills as you're running this? Or are you saying that because the directors have been very, accommodating, then it sort of made that transition easier, so you're learning on the go?
Yeah, there's that too. But also before I joined Kodi, I used to do a lot of things by myself. So I do vendoring for shows. I'd work for my mom. She's a contractor, so I'd do such things for her. So I was just learning from, a lot of experiences around me, and it's really helped me a lot right now. And also going for conferences and just actually allowing it and listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Ivy, thank you so much for joining us here today and sharing your story. Congrats to you and to all your success. All the best to Kodi as well.
Thank you.
And guys, I hope you guys have learned something from her, inspired by her story. Again, you can continue sending your feedback. The SMS line is 22999. For now, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking about building a healthy relationship with money. All right, this and so much more still lined up for you right here on Full Circle with Joyce. Stay tuned.